Yo, welcome back to another Den Den Boys video. If you're new to the channel, welcome, thank you for joining us. My name is Garth, I am one half of the Den Den Boys, and on today's video, I'm quickly going to give you 7 tips that will hopefully help you and improve your experience at Super Nintendo Land. I've recently come back from there within the last 3 weeks. It was one of the most amazing days of my life. It was so much fun. And obviously lots of people are going, so if you're watching this, hopefully these tips will help you. If you're new to the channel, or even if you're not new to the channel, our goal this year is to try to get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you could hit that subscribe button, that would help us out. Obviously we need you to get there, and let's hopefully we can do it by the end of the year. Also, just for this video, I'll let you know that I am going to put some footage of Super Nintendo Land over to the side. Cover that up. Don't look at it if you don't want spoilers. This is purely, I know I didn't want spoilers when I went to the park, so if you want to avoid the spoilers, just avoid looking at the stuff on the side here. All right, let's get into it. So, tip number 1 out of 7 is get there early. Universal Studios advertises that they open at 8:30. Now we got there about 7:30, being the keen beans that we are. And they're already starting to let people in. So we actually got into the park about 1:45, 10 to 8. And the cool thing about that was we had some friends that hadn't been to Universal Studios before. So we got to show them around. We even got to go on a few rides before our entry to Super Nintendo Land, including the new flying dinosaur roller coaster, which was really cool. Wasn't there when I went there last time. So yeah, even though it advertises 8:30, you can get in early. And if you are really keen to spend the entire day at Super Nintendo Land, then that means you can spend even more time there. So tip number 1 is get there early and enjoy more of the park. Tip number 2 will help you get into Nintendo Land, and that is it's so important that you buy yourself an entry pass and a fast pass. Now these can be bought on the Universal Studios website. They can also be bought on the day or the morning of entry, but you don't want to avoid the heartache of not getting one. The reason why it's so important to get one is because Super Nintendo Land has a capacity. So if it's really busy, if it's really full, you won't be able to get in and you'll be lining up until someone comes out. We had an entry pass for 10:30, so even though we were in before 8 o'clock, we were able to enjoy a bit of the park, and then we went in at 10:30. And our fast pass was 10:45 for the Mario Kart ride and 11 o'clock for the Yoshi ride. So that was really cool. We got in straight away and there was no worries about being left out. So buy yourself the entry pass, buy yourself the fast pass, you won't regret it. And obviously the fast pass helps you skip the line, get you on the ride first time as quick as possible. So must do, buy the entry pass, buy the fast pass. Tip number 3, and this is probably really important for those people who are taking families. Obviously, it is a big family attraction. There's not much food inside Super Nintendo Land. There's there's one snack kiosk and there's popcorn vendors, but that's about it. So if you're taking a young family and you can't take snacks into the park either, eat before you get in, or as soon as you get in, go and line up at Toadstool's restaurant or the Mushroom Kingdom restaurant and get yourself a ticket to come back for a lunch sitting. So what I mean by that is we lined up at about 11:30, only a 2-minute line, got a ticket which said come back at 1:30 for your actual entry to the restaurant. And like I said, it was fine for us because we just have a few snacks and stuff, but if you've got young kids or a family, that might be a long way to get in and get some actual food. So eat early or jump straight in the line and get yourself a ticket for lunch. Tip number 3. Okay, tip number 4, change of scenery. Tip number 4, leave a lot of time. Leave yourself a lot of time. This for me was a once in a lifetime opportunity. I had been to Universal Studios before and all I wanted to do was see Super Nintendo Land. I was there from 10:30 till about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I went on every ride, I went on every item block, I did every mini game, I took my time in the restaurant, I just soaked it all in. Don't rush it. Don't rush it, take your time. I mean, the rides themselves, if you ride more than once, they're gonna take a long time. So the wait time for the Mario Kart ride, for example, if you were in a group, the regular line was 2 hours. So if you're going to want to ride it more than once, you're going to want to leave yourself time. Plus, it's just so amazing. Soak it in. Don't rush it. Tip number 4, take your time. Tip number 5 was all about the band. So I saw some people who were going to the park and didn't buy themselves a band. I know it's a money grabbing thing, but you do need the band. It is worth its weight in gold for the amount of games you get to play. The second part of tip number 5 is that you actually need the wristband to play one of the games. So there are 5 hidden keys in Super Nintendo Land. One of them wasn't working when we were there, so we got 4. But you need 3 keys, so you need to play the game and beat the game, and then touch the keypad with your power band to get the key saved to your watch. And when you've got the 3, you can then play the Bowser final battle game. But without those keys, you can't play it. So there's a whole ride you can't play if you don't have the power band. But in terms of the actual power band itself, it's pretty cool, hitting all the blocks, saving up your coins. It's an amazing collector piece. I've got it on my shelf. So make sure you get yourself a power band and make sure you find those keys to play the Bowser game. Tip number 6. This is a bit of a sneaky little tip. If you're there late in the afternoon, ignore the ride times on the Mario Kart ride. When I was there at between 4 and 5 o'clock, my friends had left and I was like, look, I'm staying. I'm going to ride the Mario Kart ride. The sign said 100 minutes wait for a single rider. I thought, I'm willing to do that if I want to ride the ride again. I was on in 10 minutes, between 10 and 15 minutes. I rode the ride 4 times continuously. I rode it, got off, went straight back on, got back on. 10 minutes to 15 minute wait every single time. So ignore the sign. Now, I don't know if this will work every time, but ignore the sign. There's a very good chance if you're a single rider, you can get on and ride it lots of times. So tip number 6. And the last one, which is probably no surprise to anyone, but save yourself a big budget. There is so much cool stuff to buy, and even the stuff that you think is ridiculous to buy at the time, you'll be kicking yourself you didn't buy. So for example, the popcorn containers with Mario Kart and the star that light up and the popcorn is in the back. It's $45 Japanese yen. So, it's a bit steep, but are you ever going to regret it? No. You're never coming back probably. So go big, go large, YOLO it, buy as much as you want, have a big budget, and just go for your life. So there you go. 7 tips for Super Nintendo Land. I hope that helps. I hope you get to go. Honestly, my expectations of Super Nintendo Land were a 10 out of 10. I didn't see anything before I went. I wanted to go in cold and not spoil anything. It exceeded my expectations by far. The ride itself for Mario Kart was absolutely phenomenal. The park itself, the detail and the amount of effort that's gone into the park, the staff themselves, the set pieces, the merchandise, everything about Super Nintendo Land is done with so much love in Osaka. And I'd love to go back, but it's kind of one of those ones where maybe it's better just the once and I get to enjoy it, and maybe it wouldn't be as good the second time. I don't know, but I just know my experience was phenomenal. And if you can do it, you should do it. And I hope you have a great time. Again, thanks again for watching the video. Like I said, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so hit that subscribe button, please. And hopefully we'll see you very soon for another Den Den Boys video. Peace.